to that. If you had to describe yourself in, what are the first three things that comes to your mind?
All right. Before dropping those three, first I want to say thank you for having me. It's been a very busy one, but I had to create this time. And usually I don't like going live between 12 and 6, but I have followed a lot of what you have been doing in the last. I think you started this through the pandemic. I don't know, but I think after that period was when, I caught one of your episodes with a very dear friend of mine, Adama. And Adama is someone I respect so much. I love from my heart. She's an amazing person. So thank you for having me. Okay, so your first question, three things that. If I'm to describe myself with three things, number one, I would say I'm a resilient person. Naturally, resilience is one value that I hold strong. I'm a very resilient person. Number two, I'm value oriented. You can't be my friend if you don't know how to give value to people. You can't hang around me if you're not someone who who thinks about how to give value from the little that you have. I'm value oriented. Anyone that knows me knows me. I need when it comes to giving value to people, and that's another thing my clients, even in the country, out of the country, different parts of the world, that's one thing they love about myself and my team. They say that all the time, that, man, you guys always think about, giving value to what you're doing first. We don't talk, money is not our thing, but because we believe that value will always respond to value. And whatever your exchange in value is, whether it's monetary value, whether it's network, whether it's information, whether it's people, as long as you know how to give value, it will always find you back. So the second thing for me would be value oriented. And the third, I'm very unpredictable. Now, it is not a bad thing. It is a good thing from the sense that I say that the world that we live in today, if you must lead, be accessible, but you must live your life and your leadership principles that defines you from a point of view where sometimes they can never see you coming. And that is not something I use on a negative note. It's something that I use on a positive note. Because beyond being a creative entrepreneur, I also lead, whether it's project teams, so unpredictability is one thing that also defines me as a human being. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Onye. Onye, I also ask you this now. Can you share with us one decision that you made early in life that had made a tremendous impact to who you are today?
I think from a very early age, I made a decision to believe in myself, to have this deeper conviction, of the abilities that God gave to me, the gifts that I recognized when I was growing up, and some of these things came in the form of I understood music very well at a very early age without being taught, rhythm, tones, progression, sound, as a matter of fact, I can be in a room and can tell you what's wrong in the room just by the sound. I can hear sound today. I can hear a sound of something today and hear it tomorrow and tell you something has changed. So I knew I identified with that as a gift, right? Also, I work as a content producer. Back then, there was nothing like content creators. Is either you're a cameraman, you are a photographer, you are a sound man, you are a lighting person, but now all of these, we've categorized them into the content creation space, right? So I knew from a very early age that I had gift in visual storytelling, right? So a decision I had to make was to believe highly in these gifts. I was born and bred and raised in Warri. Part of the reasons why I had to um, explore other cities beyond Warri was, it came from the fact that I believed in the gift that I had so much that I knew that I needed new challenges. I was so confident of myself that I knew that at a point, it was time for me to conquer the world. And I would say these things within my local circle and in school, my hood, they'll look at me, hey, this boy, don't start again, but I believed so much. So making the decision to believe in myself was one of the decisions that I think, that I made. And I think it is not, I think I know, and I'm confident in the fact that it's still one of the greatest decisions that I made. And if I should add to that, to be independent. That's a story for another day. But I made a decision to be independent right from very early age. Like, I don't want my father's money. I don't want my mother's money. I don't even want my father's land. This is the years, I was born 1981. So if you grew up around that era, your inheritance is a major conversation. So, but from a very early age, I tell myself, I don't want, back on me, say, I get one land, so at least I dash you with all due respect. Because I wanted to be independent. I wanted to work for myself. Yeah. So that's one, and the bonus that I just added to it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Onye, can you share with us, if I give you an opportunity to speak to the whole world for 1 minute, what are you going to talk about?
Man, I just caught small. What do you want? Like, you listen to me? Hey, God. The first thing I shall give me your money. Well, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay. Here's one thing. I'm going to say if I'm giving this very futuristic, impossible thing. But if I have that, listen, everything that comes to us right now, for some weird reason, for some strange reason, a lot of it seeks to tear down our sense of humanness, the ability to feel, the ability to connect with a fellow human being, the ability to question a process, the ability to voice out how you feel without feeling that somebody is going to take offense, the ability to look at somebody and say, I don't understand what you're doing, either your culture, your religion, your style, but I want to learn it. I see that we are different. I do not want to become you, but I just want to learn it because I see that there's some uniqueness in our differences, right? So the world that we live in today, that is dying a fast death, where it's either we're divided on religious line or ethnic lines or classism or, so, and if you look at it, a lot of people do not even realize that the things that we are investing into, right? These are some of the things that tears down the ability to do these things, to connect, to see somebody who is different from you first as human being, before that thing that you see, right? And what are some of these things? This thing comes in how much time we spent with the digital life, how well we no longer spend time with ourselves. You believe your prophet more than you believe your own thinking. You respect your own pastor more than you respect your own parents, right? You trust your phone more than you trust your brain. You believe the crowd. Once plenty people talk one thing, it is right. So if it means that you think differently from this multitude of people, well, you got to tell yourself, say, maybe I no get sense. Right. So a lot of times, some of the things we invest into, whether it's technology, the new lifestyle changes and things, these things are great. They're fantastic. I said they're fantastic tools for us. But we must understand that the ability to connect with people, The ability to retain your humanness is something we must guard with everything. Like now, I mean, the Gen Zs will not like to hear this. Take social media breaks as much as you can. Every now and then, at least give yourself 1 week, 2 weeks, just get off social media, spend time with yourself, talk to yourself, have conversations with yourself, have a pen and a paper, stop typing all the time. What are you saying to yourself? Right. See ink, see ink. See, some people, see, my brother, I can tell you for a fact, some people are strangers to their own handwriting right now. Like when they write, they go, oh wow, so my handwriting still be like this. I'm telling you, that's to tell you how well we're it feels like we're all connected, but look, we're disconnected from first ourselves. And then once you're disconnecting from yourself, you will lack the ability to connect to another human being, because you yourself, you're not connected to yourself, right? So in follow-up to that, take social media breaks, connect with yourself, just be in touch and protect that sense of humanness, and that's, if I have an opportunity to speak to the world, that's what I would say. Eat healthy food. Fast food is good. Fast food is fast, but eat healthy food, plants behind your house. I tell you, even in my lemongrass, plant something, cater to something. Like every day we tidy up our social media pages, we post the best pictures, we do all these things, right? But guess what? There's something that I do that I love so much. Every now and then I cater to plants. Whether it's one cactus, I love cactus because it's low economy. Cactus is too proud. Does not need you to take cactus. Be like, water me once in 2 weeks. I'm fine as long as the AC is on, right? But you see, you need to find something that comes with life, right? And nurture it, grow it. And those are some of the ways that you can connect to your humanness. So again, if I'm being given an opportunity to speak to the entire world at once, I will say, listen, guys, protect your humanness, because everything that is coming right now aims to destroy the ability to feel, to think, to connect. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Oye. Oye, thank you so much for that illustration. And Oye, can you share with us?
Thanks, man. Yes.
All right. If you had to, can you share with us one advice you have received from someone that have made a profound effect to who you are today?
Wow. I've received a lot too. And from my heart, I'm grateful to a lot of people. And sometimes these are people that some of them are just strangers, in the course of either on a flight or, but one remarkable one I got from a mentor, who is he's way older than me, but he's a very good friend of mine. He said to me one time, he asked me a question: who are you accountable to? And I was listing, of course, my parents, my siblings, and he said, yes, that's fair enough. But give me someone that you do not have any blood relation, any blood connection, or, all that stuff, family tied to. Give me someone you're accountable to. This was some years back. You see, it struck me real hard, and it took me time to actually identify who I was accountable to. Right. Well, the moral, in the entire process, what he was trying to show to me was that you have to be accountable. You have to be accountable. And, every now and then I make mistakes. I'm not perfect. Every now and then, I feel the heat. As a matter of fact, one of my greatest weaknesses, like we were talking earlier, and I mentioned that nobody can use my weakness as a weapon against me, because I know I'm in touch with myself. So some of the things that I struggle with sometimes is when I'm under pressure, I retrieve. I'm like a snail. Once I'm under pressure, once there's intense pressure, I go into a shell. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I just want to figure out what is going on. Why is this a recurring factor? Now, yes, between the timing that I spend to come up with answers, certain things might suffer. But because I'm going to a point where it's like, not that I don't care, but hey, me figuring out what's going on right now is much more important, right? So the ability to be accountable, to people, and you know, look, if you're in trouble, who can we go to? If we can't reach you, who can we go to? You know, these things are things that are very, very important. So I have very few of them, you know, mentors, close friends that I can trust. But the answer to that question is this, you know, be accountable. You know, be accountable, be accountable, be accountable, be accountable to yourself. So even in days where you don't feel like getting up in the morning, something must push you. You know, even the day you don't feel like hustling, something must push you. You know, even if the day you don't like. Now, on the professional side, people don't understand that mentorship is hard. Mentorship is tough. Mentorship is tough because you have to show up for the people who look up to you, right? So what I say to them is, I'm accountable to you same way you're accountable to me. And then sometimes mentees, they look at me and they go like, ah. And I'm like, yeah, part of the reason why I have to keep reading. Let me show you something. You see this book? This is the book I'm reading right now. This book is like 12,000, 14,000. Right. And somebody will ask me, why will you spend 40,000 in that book? Why not just go Google the book, find out for YouTube, or go and crack a code and then go and collect it? But here's what I say. For that mentee who will be lost tomorrow, that looks up to me, in the moment where they are slipping into depression, and the only person they can talk to is myself, what will I have my own things I'm struggling with now, you know, so I need answers, right? So I say that even mentees, I am accountable to them. And that in a way triggers me to find better ways to be a better entrepreneur, a better business person, a better leader, a better friend. You know, like I said, I'm not perfect, you know, but that advice stood out for me, and I say that to a lot of mentees. Find someone that you just have, you should, you must be accountable to, and that number one person is yourself. Be accountable to yourself. Hold yourself accountable to things, you know. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Onye, for that one. I believe it's so important. Thank you so much. Can you share with us your best life, your best self development habits that you live by, and why? Self development habits that you live by, and why?
You know, like I did mention earlier, you know, it's hard for a lot of people, especially Gen Zs, but you must never lose the ability to talk to yourself. I'm telling you, man, that thing is deep one. To be able to talk to yourself, to be able to be alone and be okay. When I say be alone and be okay, not being a, you know, too many people make mistakes now because they're listening to too many voices. And if you ask them, what are you saying to yourself? They can't really tell you. They can't hear their own self. So one thing that I know I do every now and then is I retrieve. You know, I take social media breaks. There was one time I wanted to take a break from Instagram for like a month, and I ended up going away for 3 months. You know, so take social media breaks every now and then. Find time to connect with yourself. So that's what I do. I find time to connect with myself. I take social media breaks every now and then. You know, and then there is nothing as being able to literally be better than what you were yesterday, right? So and again, it is connected because the ability to sit down and reevaluate yourself every now and then gives you an opportunity to know where to make things better, you know, and that is one self hack. I'm a very private person. People don't know. I'm an introverted person when it comes to lifestyle. If I'm not working, or if I'm not out there having meetings, or yeah, if I'm not working, I can be inside my house for 1 week. Nobody go know, you know, because you see those moments. Sorry. You see those moments I spend with myself are my moments of refueling. you know, so, and it gives me an opportunity to connect. So yeah, so that's one life hack, and I think it works for me every now and then. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Oye. Oye, if you
Yes,
could give me
sir.
one advice to hold in my heart, to what would that be?
Ah, well, you see, people go through all kinds of things, right? So your needs, what you desire, tailor to your needs every now and then. Uh, you cannot tell somebody really hungry, say, don't give up. My brother, the day somebody tell me that, I say, yeah, you guys say, start, don't give up, don't give up. My brother, you know what, job? No energy to start, you will give up. But you know it,
Yeah.
because this is a broad question. I mean, it's a broad question. I'm still going to refer to that. Never give up. You know, always always look for better ways, to always look for another way. You see, you can have a destination, but you see, there's no rule that says there's only one way, you know, to get to a destination. You see what I mean? Now, we work hard every day. We show up every day. We try our best every day. Even when it is tough, we still try to go. You know, even in the issues of client management, you know, even when clients talk at you as if you are rubbish, even when you go for presentations and then see, you go for some presentations like this. Some people will say not reach to the talk to you anyhow. The way they go wash down your presentation material. You understand what I mean? And you have to carry this home. You know, sometimes there are clients, they're customers who are like people from hell. The more you try to please them, the more they create what they call them, uh, loopholes, right? And you have to deal with all these things every now and then. But you see, one thing that I say is a destination, there are different ways to get there, right? When you have needs, you try your best to come up with ways to make those, to come up with answers to those needs. However, sometimes when they work, when they hustle, we don't know what day this thing is going to work. If you could be say the day you could choose to give up, and that the thing go work. Or maybe you don't near am like this. Now just one small make I all move my hand like this. And that day you could go give up. Then you don't have to pay the consequences of starting from the top. So again, um, people have different challenges every now and then. But the bottom line is, for me, is never give up. And it's funny because most of the times when we talk about these things, we talk about, oh, business, hustle, even love. You know, some people, they tell you how many heartbreak they do experience, go shock you. You know, for every time they try to just open up themselves to people, that exposes themselves to things that, and they be like, oh wow, you know. Or people who try to experience some form of commitment, and every time they try, you know, it seemed very confusing. You know, like you then have to deal with certain things that you aren't prepared for, right? But you don't give up. You still try. You know, you still try. You know, one person all of you right. Somebody's son will find you one day. You know, for work, for relationship, for life in general. You know, just understand that, like I said, two major things. You see, this context of not give up. Two major things that I have learned, and I'll share that. Number one, you know, you're doing what you're doing. You don't know the day it's gonna happen. The day we say you're supposed to have another day, you call your remove hand. You know, you're trying stuff, you're not getting answers. The more you keep doing, the more you keep discovering better ways, you know, finding better ways of getting better results. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Oye, for that illustration. Of course, it's quite very, very helpful. Oye, I was reading your profile and I saw something. I said empowering African creative entrepreneurs to be confident in their process. Now, why did you mention the process? It needed, or why is it so important as an entrepreneur? Of course, to be confident and to enjoy the process as well, just like what you said. Why did you mention process?
But I don't want this life to finish today, but you know, this thing is it's very deep. Okay, I'm trying not to go too deep, but for everybody joining, by the way, you know, I want to say a big shout out to everybody who's joined this live. And you know, my brother here is a when it comes to interview questions and stuff. Like I said, I followed this for some time now, and I've been blessed by a lot of what you have been doing. So I want to say a big shout out to everyone who's joined us. Hey, you have like strong men and women from different parts of the world. I'm seeing Kabute all the way from Ghana. See, he's the best male MCs in the continent of Africa. No jokes, guys. Go follow him. You figure that one out. Abba M, TP Limited. Abisco is here, one of the best producers and upcoming artists. Everybody here, I can't call all your names right now because I don't want Instagram Live to kick us out while I was still talking. But I want to say thank you. And please, I don't know how much time we have, but if you can, guys, do us a favor and do my host and my convener this favor. You know, down right, there's the arrow thing. Click it and share this live to people. Or you can just put it on your story right now so that more people can join and get stuff. All right, so this question you just asked, it's a very deep conversations, but I'll try as much as possible to keep it relatable, right? So I like to talk about the process a lot. If you know me very well, you realize that one of the things that you'll find around my traction, my post, I like to talk about the process. We now live in a world where people celebrate the end product. People are drawn to the end product. Typical example, people know the post picture we're not fine. You know, people, like, you take 10 photos, 10 selfies, right? You look for the best one. Even when you find the best one, you still edit the best one and then post it, right? That is the representation of who you are or what the end products are. Let me take, for example, a music producer will not post the first cut. The first cut or the first sequence will be like where they try to put it in short, you know, they upgrade and you save that one, they now create another project on top of that, and then you have like 10 layers. The same thing with photographers. You hardly, I don't think there's any photographer who will post their raw photographs, right? Except those who do like documentaries and things. But even with that, we edit it, we clean it up, we compensate for areas that we could not have done better while filming or photographing, right? So, in the creative space in Africa, I found a need, and this is not something that I think I made good to find out. I strongly feel that direction came from God, like it's tied to the purpose of my entire existence to equip African creative entrepreneurs to believe in their process. So, if we've established that we live in a world where people celebrate the end products now, perfection is like the biggest thing for us. People then need to understand that, look, perfection isn't it. The end result shouldn't be the motivation. Rather, as a matter of fact, the end result is a myth when it comes to what motivates people. The process to a thing, your tiny little success story. Even if you wake up every day, you say, today, the only thing I want to do today is to move this thing small. Do that. When you do it and you think that you don't do it, celebrate yourself. Celebrate that small move, right? That is the process that makes up any big thing, right? You know, let me use something very relatable, funny in the sense, and no disrespect to any gender. I know these days when you talk about woman or man as opposed to now, there's this, okay, let's say a guy now, young guy, we all D now, the guy all D. He don't they check this babe, the consists, you know, guy don't they hunt the babe, they hunt the babe, they hunt the babe. You know, they try, spin the babe, the babe not agree. Okay, don't try scope, the babe not agree. For like 2, 3, 4 months, you know, maybe one day the guy just did now, you know, very sad, very depressed, maybe from other things, so not because of the babe. And then, and that same day on a weekend, right, dude gets a call. Slightly reluctant to pick it, but something just said, look at your phone and pick it. Dude turns over, picks up the phone, and guess who's calling? That girl, we know they try. hit on since in the last 3 months. And then the girl goes, hey, hi, how are you? I'm just calling to check up on you. You know, how are you doing? That guy where they sad, all of a sudden you just see the guy go, oh, ginger, you see energy. Oh, wow, how are you? Oh, great. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. You know, that sort of thing, right? And then if the girl come by mistake, say, oh, what are you doing this evening? Hey, case closed. Person with this sad because of lack of work or maybe some business challenges or some personal challenges. This is not baby, don't they try? Oh, the guy called here, the baby say, what are you doing this evening? Straight up, he's going to say, oh, I'm great. Oh, I'm free. You know, let's hang out. You know, where. And the girl says, oh, you know what? I want to host you. You see that guy with the bed since, with the depressed and sad. The way that guy will take get up, if he never shaved since he could shave, bath, wear clothes, you know, he will look fresh. Why? Because let me tell you. Now, if you ask a question, wasn't this guy? This was the same guy that was just laying sad on the bed and da. What happened to him just now? I'll tell you. The chemical equation, right, that triggers excitement, endorphins, kicked in. See what I mean? Now, it is human. We all experience it. That chemical equation played out. Why? Because he saw an instant reward. He saw the end result from his bed while he was sad. He breezed through a process. And what's that process? Shaving, bath, clean up. Somebody's saying we can't hear you. Can you guys hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Gabby Magazine says we can't hear. Gabby, if you guys can hear me, hit the love button by the side, or you know, just drop something and say we can hear you. If you can hear, just say we can hear you,
because I can
or
hear
hit the love button. Oh, okay, fine. So I think
okay.
they can hear.
So,
Gabby, just yeah. So Gabby, maybe just turn off hit your airplane mode and come back again. I'm sure your network is playing tricks on you. Okay, guys. So let me continue. Let me continue this. You know, like I said, this thing is very deep, but I'm trying so hard to make this. And thank you guys for joining this part of this conversation as well. Now, you will ask me that where did this guy find the energy to bath, shave, clean up, wear clothes? This is the same guy that's been lying, you know, on his bed saying he's sad because no job, no this. But all of a sudden, there is an energy to go see, you know, all of a sudden there's an energy to go see this babe that lasts 3 months. Because that chemical equation played out, right? Endorphin. What simply happened again, he saw the end result. So that end result fast-tracked the process. Now, here, let's move on to the next phase of the story, which the danger, why process is very important. Dude goes to see the girl, right? After spending maybe like first 10, 15, 20 minutes, girl starts to act weird. And immediately she goes, oh, you know what, it was nice hanging out with you. Yeah, it wasn't really nice, but it's okay. You know, you're not as smart or intelligent as I thought, or you're not as good looking as I thought, or blah, 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 blah. And dude begins to feel, wait, what? You see, in that very moment, right, the end result that triggered him to get to that point is now looking like a mirage. Now, this is what happens to that guy. That guy will leave that table. Remember where we started this conversation, he was sad on the bed due to other things. It had nothing to do with a woman. But guess what? This guy will go and add more sadness to where he was. Right? So by the time he goes back, this time he'll probably not just go back to the bed. This time in our ground, he will lie down. Why? Because that end game turned out to be something disappointing, and then endorphin disappears. How does this connect to work, ethics, creative entrepreneurship, and stuff? We must understand that the end product triggers us to start. If I ask a startup photographer now to say, okay, why do you want to become a photographer? They will tell you, I want to create beautiful images. Ask someone, why do you want to become an event producer? They'll tell you, I want to produce the big shows. I want to do the Grammys. I want to do the Oscars. I want to plan weddings. They have an image. Then you tell them to start. They start day one, day two. The end result, which of course triggered the whole starting process, they then begin to realize that, that end result is easy to dream. But you see, the day-to-day piecing of this dream is where the call to action and the hardest part is. So when they begin to face the day-to-day challenges that comes with building anything, they begin to look at other people and say, but Mr. Onye, they do and I they work. But this guy, they do and they work. Why be saying me? Every time I try, the thing just looks really hard. No, you armed yourself with an end result and you forgot that the process to a thing defines the end result. It's good to have where you want to go, but you see, when you look at, for example, there's a good friend of mine, Emmanuel Yeleke, one of the best photographers, in the world, as far as I'm concerned. He's in Lagos here. Now, if you ask a startup photographer, who do you want to be? They'll tell you, I want to be Emmanuel Oyeleke. Now, if you go to that guy's page and look at his images, he was the one that shot my birthday photos, by the way. That photo, my birthday images were like, Now, people will look at those, startup photographers will look at those, startup photographers will look at those images and say, oh, what is this? Man, this is the level I want to operate at, right? Fantastic. Then they buy a camera, they buy a light, they rent a studio. Remember, that camera comes with a cost, it comes with maintenance cost. Your studio that you rented, you forget, say it is not just in the facility. You have to equip it. You have to buy AC. You need to buy NEPA card every month. Your yearly overhead cost alone, you have to get a security person, you have to get an assistant, you have to get a laptop. By the time you begin to see these things as you proceed, the weight, the pressure, the disappointments sometimes will now set in higher than the vision that you set, to yourself. You then begin to doubt. You got to say, Emmanuel Yeleke, they do something different. No, it's the same camera, the same space, the same brain. So what's the difference between you and the photographer? I'll tell you the difference. You used his end product as your startup point. You forgot that man started from somewhere. So what I say to a lot of creative entrepreneurs across the continent of Africa is try not to use where I am right now as your starting point. Don't be attracted by the end result. Be attracted by their process. Go to them and ask them, when you start, where do you start? How you start? You will then realize that, wait a minute, you are jumping far ahead and you are killing yourself. So once you begin to identify with their own startup days, you then begin to see the lessons. That's when they will begin to tell you stories that, man, I saw far. This guy that you're celebrating today, that everybody says, oh, their work is great, blah, blah, blah. They don't sleep for on that bridge. They don't serve. They don't push wheelbarrow. But you see, we don't talk about these stories well enough. So part of what I do in getting African creative entrepreneurs to be confident in their process is this. Don't just say, oh, I have a humble beginning, and I'm making it. No, talk about it. Talk about that startup process. Talk about what you're doing. You only have a phone. You don't have Kini. Take pictures with that phone. Let the world know that these powerful images are coming from a mobile phone. When you do videos or do image, don't be afraid to say, make I not put my name on so that in case people don't like and they don't know where it comes. Talk about it, because 10 years from now, you will put at your beginning and your 10 years later images, and you will see the difference. So the more we begin to celebrate our process, the more other people will begin to tap inspiration from and say, wait a minute, no, there's a process to this thing, and the process, they inspire me past. And that's why if you look, my brother, if you check my page, I don't post end products. Like 4 years ago, a lot of people, some colleagues attacked me and they're like, oh, we can't find your work. And some clients will say, oh, I went through your page, and I can't find your work there. I know where to go to my website or go to YouTube. But on Instagram, you know what I do? I only post either behind the scenes, how we make the team, my daily hustle. So you can see that, see, this thing is not hard. You see me now, I carry small salad and bread. You get where I go arrange for plate and somebody say, ah, man, these bros don't go expensive restaurant. No! Salad now like 400 naira. Loaf of bread. But you see how you package it then becomes the process to that end product. So again, in summary, part of the thing that I'm drawn to, which is what I do across Africa, is I empower young African creative entrepreneurs to see that your process is more important than the end result. You know, I have a mentee today. As a matter of fact, the woman that shocked me. You know, some of the things that we talk about. When I listen to her, I say to myself, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." You know, I can't talk about what she's working on right now, but I'm tempted to. She's in the ushering business, right? And she's building something that is going to set her apart from her industry people. And one time she called me up and she said, oh, she needed to talk to me. And I'm like, oh, well, she sounded a little, and she said, see, people just keep copying what I do. They copy what I do. They copy what I do. And I laughed. It wasn't funny, but, you know, I think I said to her, are you done talking? Like, get out. Like, just get out from here, you know. But I said, wait a minute. People are copying your end result. They're not copying your process. Do you know what that means? They are going to crash very soon. They don't know the sleepless nights you go through. You don't post those ones now. So keep giving them your end result to copy. Now time they tell who get foundation and who not get foundation. You know, so that's what I do in the continent of Africa. And that's the principle that I apply. Again, in summary, you must understand that the process is a better trigger than the end result. Final thing on that is this business is up and down. Life comes with a lot of surprises. Look, in this same walk, I had an accident, shattered my left leg. A lot of people don't even know that side of me. Shattered my left leg. You know, on my left leg, I have about 17 screws, 14 or 17 screws now, you know, with installations there. That happened in the place of work. I wasn't chilling or it happened in the place of work. But look at me today. I'm still bouncing, running. Did I stop? As a matter of fact, even in the recovery process of that thing, I kept working. My surgeon told me you have 14 days to do the surgery. After 14 days, your bones will start healing. And the way the bones are fractured, they will heal out of proportion. I told my surgeon, I said, what I'm working on right now, they don't bone the bone, make it start in your healing process. Until I finish and I deliver this product. I was working on a project for Federal Airport Authority, that's fine. I told my surgeon, until I finish this project and deliver the project, and I get a standing ovation to say, you, amidst the trials and pain and this setback situation, you still delivered. I will not do this surgery. And my brother, guess what? That's exactly what I did. And when I made the final presentation at the fan headquarters in Lagos, we got a standing ovation. And the next day, I entered theater, did my surgery. You know, but guess what? Once you are in touch with your process, if any setback or anything happens to you, you will bounce back real quick. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Oye, for illustrating that very, very well. Thank you so much. It's so important, Oye. Oye, as we round up now, I'd like to ask you this question: that can you share with us one of your life failures and what you learned from that failure? What have you learned from it?
I failed a lot in this life, and you know, I'm confident in the fact that I'm still going to go through more failures. But guess what? I have a different philosophy to failing. You know, failure reveals strength in you. Failure points you in the direction of answers. Failure helps you prepare for tomorrow, and this is my own fact. So I've had a lot of I've had some failed businesses. Like businesses that started and failed and I packed up, right? And created something else because we realized what was wrong, you know. But away from business. I've also amassed stories of how I overtrusted people because I thought everybody saw the world the way I saw it or I see it, you know. So you empower people, you give people access, and then somewhere they take that and use it against you. That's in the pain. And especially where it costs you a lot, right, to recover because you never saw it coming, all right, the pain. However, you know, one thing I've come to learn from that is this: people will always be people. And again, failure reveals a better side of us. You know, if something bad happens to me, here's what I say. I take responsibility. First, what didn't I do right? What did I do wrong? Now, that question of what didn't I do right, it's not from a negative place. No, you know, I just need to know, you know. So it then begins to empower you with the need to study, to research, to ask questions, right? Trace things backwards.
Yeah.
So that when life presents situations bigger than this next time, you'll be in a better position to deal. You'll be in a better position to engage, you know. So a lot of times, you know, one of the things that I've amassed in the journey is the fact that over trusting people cost me a lot. But what did I learn? People will always be people. So in the very beginning, when we started this conversation, I told you that now there's a high level of unpredictability with the way that I lead. You know, I'm nice. I give everybody access. As a matter of fact, is a technique that I use. I give everybody free access. So that you go, that's how you see the ones who know get sense and the ones who get sense. And then when you want to discipline people, they will know. You know, and then what I picked up from there is people will always be people. People will always be people. And whenever things go wrong, take responsibility. You know, stop shifting blame. Shifting blame to people all the time sort of hides the need to learn. You know, so I take responsibility, and then I learn, and then I engage. So that's what failure has taught me. Number one, I overtrusted people. That cost me a lot. What have I learned from it? Understand that people will always be people. People don't see things from a perspective. However, it shouldn't stop me from being kind to people. It shouldn't stop me from trying again. And, you know, it shouldn't stop me from taking responsibility, you know, so I can be better. And then it stops me from blaming people when things go wrong. So these are some of the things that failures, you know, has stopped me. And I think I'm way, 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 way better. I'm much more optimistic about tomorrow when it comes to failing. Like I said, I need to fear to say I still have more failures, and I welcome them because when they come, it will teach me stuff how to be better.
Thank you so much, Onye. It has been an awesome moment with you right here on the Talk Influencers. Thank you for,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, illustrating those vital points able to change, transform, and make us all to be the better version of ourselves. We are so honored to have you here on the show. We are so delighted to have you, of course, on the show. Thank you for the wonderful things that you do, especially for young entrepreneurs to become a better version of themselves. Thank you so much. All right, thank people. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Influencers. This is where we explore the mindset of amazing achievers. We share their secret to success and how the decisions they've made over the years have shaped who they are today. We're also committed to provide you with the tools and the knowledge that you need to unlock your potentials and to influence the world. Our guest today is ONYE. And of course, if you don't know him, please, you can check him out on LinkedIn. It's on Instagram, of course, as ONYE Ubanatu. Our Instagram, of course, is also on LinkedIn at ONYE Ubanatu. Please go follow him for more and more insight. There's so much to learn from him. I tell you, there's so much to learn from him. I am so excited to have him today on the show. The entire team so excited, of course, to have him today on the show with amazing insights. His thought process is amazing. Thank you so much, ONYE, for coming today and for sharing these wonderful things with us here.
Thank you.